I'm Gary Fettke, I'm from Tasmania in Australia. I'm an orthopaedic surgeon over there, and lots of people ask me why on earth am I involved in nutrition. And I've got a personal story and I've got a professional one. The professional one is quite simple. In orthopaedics we're seeing more and more people who are getting sicker and sicker, heavier and heavier, and the rates of osteoarthritis are just going through the roof. I also do a lot of work with patients with diabetes, and particularly those with diabetic foot complications, and we are seeing those complications increasing in our community, and it's devastating to the patients and it's devastating, economically over time. So in that environment I took a very strong stand a long time ago about patient health, and I've been a strong advocate for non-smoking in my patients, and by the same token I've been pretty keen on my patients to lose weight. So over time I've started, lots of doctors go away and tell their patients to lose weight, and that's about it. So I've been trying to give them tools to do that for a long time, and to be fair, most of the information I've given them in over 25 years probably hasn't been that good. But in the last few years I've been recommending low carb, healthy fat eating and nutrition, and the results are just outstanding. So I've incorporated that into my practice and my patients' practice, their lives, and we're just getting great results. But that's my professional side, but then on a personal side I had a tumour on the base of my brain about 15 years ago now, and life got pretty well ripped out straight away. And in the combination of the management of that, and I was a fat kid, I realised that in fact I was raised on processed food, and that's, in my mind, a combination of sugar, refined carbohydrates and polyunsaturated oils. So what I speak on regularly, and what Tim's asked me to come over and speak on here, is that combination of foods that we take in that actually, I think, create modern disease. So that's been one of the topics that he's gotten me involved in. I mean, my personal story is that I was a fat kid. I was a pimply fat kid, got bullied a fair amount, and actually really struggled with my weight for 40 years. And in the process of that, I've always been looking at diet and nutrition, and for decades I was following the food guidelines. And those food guidelines were the food pyramid, and I thought I was eating really healthily. I would have my fruit and nut muesli for breakfast, a bit of low-fat yogurt, wash it down with some fruit juice. Yes, I used to sneak a little bit of chocolate in there for breakfast because, it's the beginning of the day and you can justify anything. And recognised in retrospect that I was having about 30 teaspoons of sugar for breakfast. And then by morning tea I was starving. And then I'd exercise my way to try and lose weight. And sure, I was able to maintain that, but again, looking back, I was a toffee, that term of thin on the outside, fat on the inside. I was metabolically not that good. Throw in there that I was probably pre-diabetic, again on some tests. But about 3 years ago, I started cottoning on to the role of sugar in cancer, and started reading more, stopped sugar in my own life. All of a sudden I wasn't hungry, dropped some weight, and then looking in further, then I stopped looking into the seed oils, the polyunsaturated oils, and I was probably a late starter on low carbohydrate. I'd given up sugar and polyunsaturated oils before I actually worked out the role of carbohydrate there. I know others have sort of come at it primarily from a low carb option, but I actually came about it the other way. We've all had some controversy. The moment you actually start telling the medical profession that they might in fact be wrong, there's always going to be a bit of backlash. And for me, I found that quite challenging, actually, to accept that maybe I'd been wrong in the first place. But then secondly, how do you start getting that message out there? So it's all you can do, I think, in the medical profession is keep leading by example. But my issues are really in the public hospital system, where I'm trying to change hospital food, and I think hospital food is crap and it's killing my patients, and I've stated that publicly. And I lecture on that and go to the industry and say, look, we can do better. And in hospitals, and particularly with diabetic patients, they are completely and utterly carb loaded. So not only is it encouraging them to have poor blood glucose control in hospital, it's actually not helping their health at a time when they're really trying to get healing on board. And I think hospitals really should be the temple of health, And at the moment they are the temple of doom. I think we're really doing the wrong thing by our patients. And I'd love to see the system change completely, but all we're trying to do at the moment is create the option of low carbohydrate menus in the hospital. I've been essentially hassled by my patients and the community for a long time about more and more information. So I started with a handout, then I developed a website. It's all free, nofructose.com. And then people said, I need more and more information from that. So what we've developed in Launceston in Tasmania is the first Diabetes and Health Research Centre. And there we've got dietitians giving that one-on-one advice that people want. So it's completely individualised. And we opened that up in 2014. And not surprisingly, it's doing well. So I'm not actually working there, but I'm mentoring the staff, and the staff are educating and supporting the community. And that's becoming a major effort in our community, and the first of its type in Australia. And a lot of people are looking at it as a bit of a model going forward. It's been a bit controversial, certainly in our area, but we've stuck by our staff, they've stuck by us, and our results are, as expected, outstanding. Every diabetic patient we have has had an improvement in their condition and a reduction in their medication. Other health issues are all just on the improve as well, so we're just really providing a support service.